until 2 weeks later, and then they decide they can pay you. And I'm like, that's great. That's great. Teeth diagnosis. Oh yeah, guys. Small announcement. I did go to the dentist just for a general routine checkup, and they did confirm I have teeth. So I'll be announcing that as I figure things out. Please respect my privacy at this time. I do have teeth though, and I just want to be straightforward about that. It's obviously going to be a bit of a battle going forward, and you know, it's not too serious yet. I'm glad we know I have teeth right now. You know, because if I learned that like a year later, it'd be like, uh-oh, I've had teeth for a year. And you know, apparently I've had it for like all my life. I don't think I was born with them, but I do think I picked it up pretty quickly on my journey of life. So, you know, it just, everybody, if you have the ability, go to the dentist, see if you have teeth. It's better to know now. And, you know, we'll see what happens. I'm still the same me. I'm still going to be streaming just as much, if not more, but I do have teeth. Hell Yas asks, are you going to be okay? I feel like I'm okay right now. To be fair, I don't know if I'm sort of like downplaying it in my mind just to sort of get through the day, or, if, you know, I really am at a point of emotional maturity that I'm like, you know, I really am going to figure this out. But point is, I have teeth right now. Do chompers count? Pigeon Pudgeon, I don't really have time to go into it tonight. I know a lot of people think teeth are the same thing as chompers. They're not. Unfortunately, the history of why people would think that is a bit problematic. And I think it's also not my place to say why that would be. I'm glad to direct you to some resources why teeth are different than chompers, but I do think that it is something that you should educate yourself on, and maybe it isn't my place other than to say you should look into it. I think that's long enough for this rabbit hole of ridiculous improv yes anding. Thank you very much. Hey, guess what? We have TR 6 with 100 bits. Thank you very much. We got the Cater Tots. I read that as Krotos, and that's a very different vibe than Cater Tots. Either way, delightful. Thank you for gifting to Makar25. Appreciate you. Let's see here. We got 100 bits from Tom Bidan. Tom, all the way on the other side of the earth. I thought you'd be asleep by now, or awake and busy. I don't know. I've never figured out time zones, but welcome on in. Thank you for that. We got Diamond gifting 2 by the grace of Odd. Clever. I like that name. You'll fit right in here. Clever and Odd. Diamond, thank you very much for that. I appreciate you. Yum Kratos Tots. Sweet Lou, I was about to ask you what Kratos Tots would taste like, but now I'm like, oh, distinctly Grecian flavors, right? I would think so. I would think it would have to be like potatoes, but they're seasoned more with like lemon and oregano, and then the dipping sauce would be like tzatziki style. You could get them loaded up with like gyro meat, maybe, or some like a lamb shank with a nice red wine sauce. Yeah. Oh, lots of oregano. Yeah, lots of oregano. There's like a feta spread, olive. Yeah. Okay. Now we got some. Now we're okay. Kratos Tots. I'm on board. For sharks, I am asking for $258,000 for a 1% stake in an IP that I do not have any rights to or ownership of, nor have I ever been in a God of War game even. Who's in? Mark Cuban? Thank you very much, y'all. All right, I'm gonna read out a bunch of these because there's so many. Oh no, now y'all are gonna see that I'm not in a full suit. I'm wearing my normal old comfy pants. Oh no, I'm gonna look like such a dingus now. Such a silly little dingus I'll be. All right, so I've got this right here. I think this is a good place to plop this. Got an idea for how to do. Okay, yeah. Can you tell I didn't fully think all of this through? All right, so share over here. Share will also be used to prop up the other portion of it. Uno momento, por favor.
Eventually.
That doesn't even look cool, does it? It does block it for the most part, but I can see a little like, no, actually, pretty good job. I'm just trying to see, like, is there anything else I can tie around my head? I guess my tie would kind of work. Does it look cool, says Scorpio? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm wondering. Like, does it look cool? I have a little strip of green screen. You'd be like, oh my god! Oh my god! Oh, sorry. Okay. No, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use this thing. Here we go. So it's time to do the classic birthday game that we all know and love, that I bought at the dollar store. Here we go. Everybody ready? Everyone see okay? Good view? Off screen. Right? Everybody good? We're good? Yes. Great. Everybody ready? I need to know. I need to see a bunch of hype in chat. Even though I can't see. Ready? Count me in. From 29, 28, 27, 26. I'm just kidding. Got it. Easy. Barely even a challenge. Damn, dog, I thought there was supposed to be candy. I hear it now. I see it. I'm sorry. I mixed two games together, and now it's a new thing that I made up. Nice. Well, was that worth the abundant amount of time it took to set up for everyone? Oh my god. What's ridiculous is, obviously, I had that planned, but I was standing off to the side with a blindfold and the sword, and I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I didn't really think about this part. Huh. Yeah. I'm glad it hit. I'm glad I didn't destroy all of my camera equipment. And to no one's surprise, yes, I have a sword. Thankfully, my blade struck true, though my eyes could not see. My heart did. He's officially 33, everyone. I'm really not. Can't emphasize that enough. Not my birthday yet. But it's my birthday stream, so I don't get actually depressed on my actual birthday. I really appreciate you, and I never ended up reading out your message. Happy Sunday. Thank you. I also have odd feelings about my birthday, so I feel for you and your birthday sadness. Instead of birthday wishes, I'll just hope the coming week brings only good things to you. You're a kind person who deserves that and more, Damien. I appreciate you a lot. That's... Jesus Christ! Oh, that was right in my ear! There's supposed to be so much more before that happens! Oh no, that's really bad. That hurt. What are the odds of that actually doing damage? No, that actually feels like a little like the little like, wow. I mean, also, like, what would I even do about that if it did do anything? It probably just screws up your ear for like a day, right? Right? Everything's fine? I'm so sorry. So no more balloons today. Give it a few minutes. You would have heard a pop. Okay, great. Well, then I'm fine. It just feels a little bit like numb. Not numb, but like muffled, I guess. We're good. We're good. So no more balloons. I guess this is not to knock dollar-based stores, but I think when you get, what is that, like 50 balloons and a blow-up thing for like $1.50, you know, maybe that just happens. Stretch it first. You know what? I think I'm just gonna not do it, but thank you though. I'm just Joe says, I also have odd feelings about my birthday, so I feel for you and your birthday sadness. Instead of birthday wishes, I just hope the coming week brings only good things to you. You're a kind person who deserves that and more, Damien. I really appreciate that a lot. That's very sweet. Thank you. And again, I'm gonna work on I'm just gonna believe you. I'm just gonna believe you. Have you ever had rocket balloons before? All right. Why is it always difficult? All right, cool. Nice. Is it blasphemous to fall asleep to stream? I don't think so, JLo Rock. I'll probably have little moments of getting loud, so sorry if you wake up, but like, I guess also that's entirely out of my hands. But yeah, no, you can absolutely leave the stream on and have the analytics be like, wow, people really stayed for his whole stream. Meanwhile, you're just, yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. Lean. Thank you so much for doing that. Amanda M. Davis, welcome everybody. Welcome back to a few of you. And then Jack's on the box dropping for 200 bits. Thank you for being here. Good to see you again. Okay, yeah. So, thank you again. That was very nice. So, here's the miracle that happened. So, ever since my babby nephew was born, which is my mom's husband's daughter's baby. So my stepsister's baby, and I wasn't raised with her. I met her when I was like 24. But you know, it's family. So that's my nephew, and so ever since he was born, I was like, man, I'm gonna be a cool uncle when he reaches a certain age. He's gonna like certain stuff probably at some point, and you know, this generation, whether it's millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, like we all sort of like a lot of the same stuff, even if our vernacular is different. So I was like, oh yeah, I mean, for sure, like Pokemon at one point will probably come up. And so, and then my niece was born, and I had the same thought, and I was like, oh, she's gonna like something someday that I'm on board with. And so he likes trucks and cars, and then also cars and also trucks and cars. What do you get him for any holiday? Cars and trucks. He does not get too many. It's if you go to CVS and get a little Hot Wheels, he'll lose his mind. And then she started liking princess stuff and spooky stuff, and I was like, oh hell yeah, Halloween kid, baby. Like, she's not making memories yet, she hasn't like come online yet, but she's starting to become like a person, you know what I mean? And so like I'll get her like a little pumpkin thing. I'm like, oh, it's a little guy. I'm like, this is cool. And so that's where I was like, okay, cool, I finally have something I can connect with, you know, my niece and nephew about. It's at least spooky stuff. And so I'm sitting there in Christmas time, just at the table, sort of zoning out, dealing with like a lot of noises and a lot of people at once. Like it's hard for me in situations like that. I'm not in a familiar location. There's lots of different people. Little kids are just like, like for no reason, just like a wet cough, just like, oh, is that cheese? And you're like, oh yeah, it was. I guess I'm not gonna eat the cheese. And so I'm talking to my stepbrother, who again wasn't raised with, and we're mid-conversation, and someone goes, oh, Damien, your nephew wants to show you his first Pokemon card. And to my stepbrother, I was like, what did you just move? What did he just say? What did you say just now? And they're like, yeah, he's got his first ever Pokemon card. And I was like, well, come on over, big fella. Come on down. What do you got? And like, I was just like, I've been waiting so long. Specifically Pokemon too, like, let's be real. And I'm gonna make TikToks about this and stuff. I'm not gonna shut up for like a minute. So I was like, hey, what you got there, bud? And it's awesome because, like, you know, my sister doesn't have any kids. Like, I was the youngest cousin in the family, and I lived very far away from everybody, so like I didn't really get to see this process for anyone. But he's starting to become like, you know, when babies finally get like joints, like you're a toddler and you don't have like leg bones, and you're just like, but then they start to get knees, and you're like, oh, that's a whole ass person right there. So he's starting to do that. And he's like actually able to talk in a way that is like conversation. Like last time I was with him, I was actually able to like play with him, and I could see where his imagination was going, and I was like, oh yeah, like I can add on to this, like we're on the same sort of page. So he shows me his card, and it's a Drapion or Drapion, I always forget the name, but it's the big ass purple scorpion from Gen 5, 6, I don't know. Full art, hollow. And I was like, oh bud, that's so cool, like I love that, that's awesome. What, do you know what this one is? And he's like reading now, so he's like, yeah, it says Drapion. I'm like, that's great, that's true. Gen 4. That was close. Thank you, Demo Nacho. So I was like, hey, that's great. He's like, do you know how many stars this has? And I was like, well, let's take a look, bud. You know, this one is a holographic. It's really shiny, so that's a pretty fancy card you got there, bud. So I'd say it's a rare card, so it's the same as one with a star on it. So that's really great. How'd you get this? And his friend gave it to him. I was like, hey, that's really cool. That's so cool, bud. And so, you know, he was like, he said, it says there's numbers next to these things. And I'm like, oh yeah. And I start to explain to him a little bit about it. And I was like, so do you know, like, is this fun for you? And he's like, yeah, I like this. I'm like, cool. Do you know, like anything about like, you know, they're battling? He's like, they battle? I'm like, yeah, they battle. So literally just like his friend handed him a card. So, I'm gonna, I resisted every urge to just like, and I'm like, we're gonna meter out the dopamine bit by bit, and as he learns a little bit. So I just talked to him a little bit, and all I really showed him too is I was like, yeah, one of my favorites is Mimikyu, which I have on the back of my phone here. He's like, that looks like a Pichu. I'm like, that's what he wants you to think. And you know, so we just got to connect on that a little bit, and that was so fun. And so I figure now every time I visit, I'll just bring like 3 or 4 cards for him, not a bunch, because I don't want to just be like, here's 1,000, you'll never feel joy again. Because he's got to learn you know, that sort of delayed gratification, I think, you know. But I'm so excited. I'm so excited that I get to share this with him now. And it's too bad because I thought I had some just like random rogue Pokemon cards in my car. Couldn't find them. I guess my car is just too clean. It's not. But it's okay. We'll figure it out another time. So this is maybe the last Christmas I just get him a bunch of cards. So I was excited about that. But yeah, I will be making TikToks about it, of course. Had I known earlier, I had sent some old form. I appreciate that, Jenna. That's okay though, because like I have extras, like I have plenty, and he doesn't know cards yet. So it's not like I'm like, this is the rarest full art trainer gold reverse hollow. You can just be like, this is a new one you haven't seen yet, and it could be like Skitty. It'll be like, that's the coolest thing ever. So I have a pile now that I can just grab 3 and be like, he doesn't know these yet. Let's go. So yeah, I'm really excited. So that was a really fun thing. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening. I just thought that was a fun story, and I thought maybe some of y'all could relate. My nephew got into Pokemon last year. Oh, says Tiber Thunder. And you're gonna be awesome at making whatever craziness we lay down here work. So yay, hooray.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jonathan, which is our probably our main engineer that we work with. At least for me. I don't know if you've been working with Jonathan.
Same. He complained, but they were like, "No, you have to work with him." I was like, oh, "Okay." You know.
Oh, I saw the book we all signed.
Yeah.
Or when I saw what everybody wrote.
So John, our audio engineer for Delicious in Dungeon, he's a very sweet guy, but he's the kind of friend where like you poke fun at your friends all the time, and you say really joking, silly things like, I hate you, get out of my life, you're not my real dad, you know, stuff like.
I love him. He baked me a cookie at our last
He baked me a
session.
cookie too. He's such a sweet bean.
Like, oh,
No.
oh.
He's a sweetheart. We just wrote a bunch of mean stuff in his book that we signed, because his vibe is very much like, if you get a take wrong, he'll hold up a sign like Wile E. Coyote style that says like, do better, and you're like, or like,
Yeah.
Such cute.
Yeah. We kind of like jokingly were like, yeah, we should do that. And then he came in with a sign, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
The magic did it.
He's real sweet.
He's super, super sweet. I was the one person in the book that didn't write something mean.
Oh, you can't do that.
I wrote, because everybody wrote something mean. And I was like, oh. And he's like, oh, it's okay. It's how it is. And I go, no. So I wrote this long essay, and I'm like, don't listen to the others. They eat monsters. You keep doing you, and all that stuff. And I kind of took up like a quarter of the page.
Casey, you can't do that.
I'm so sorry.
If we're gonna be mean, we have to go all in. If you're the one nice one, it's worse.
It's funny because Chilchuck is the one who's being nice out of everybody else. Like the hater, the professional hater is like,
that's true.
No, man, you're doing good. Don't worry about it.
Proving once again, you're acting. Acting. Casey. Oh, yeah. Demo Nacho says Casey pulling a Cabru, which is just so correct.
I mean, yeah.
I love that.
I'm being called Ash Ketchum in the chat. Oh, wow. Oh, it's because of the hat.
So Casey does not voice. Oh, the guy. Got it. I thought we were talking voice. Now I see backwards hat.
Yeah. And also, I mean, I guess I never really hit puberty, so I'm like, you squirrel and stuff.
Casey, let's make a pact that we're both gonna live forever and we're not allowed to change that.
Oh, yeah. I already died once. I died once when I was a kid, and I was dead for like 5 minutes, and I was.
Let's expand on that if you're comfortable. That's wild.
Oh. Yeah, and I'm like, well, I've died a couple times before.
Wow.
At this point, everything else is just gravy. So I'm like, I think I'm immortal.
That's incredible. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, I'm just like, I just toss it out there because I'm like, yeah, I was dead. It's no big deal. I mean, live if you can. It's not a great time. Coming back is what's rough because your body's all like, what, TLDR, when you die, your body is like, it prepares itself for, you're about to croak, son. So when you come back from that, you're not really supposed to. So it kind of messes with your entire body. So when you go through that a couple times, you're like, oh my God. So you take a couple years to kind of like get back into the land of the living, so to speak. So
that's Casey, thank you for sharing that. I had no idea.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So that's why I'm like, I don't know. I feel like because I already died like so many years ago, I'm like, I really don't care what happens to me. Like, it kind of makes you just not fear death because you're like, oh, anything that happens is gravy, dude. I was supposed to, anything that happens, I'm down with. Like,
Casey,
cool.
I just want to say, I've been streaming for over 5 years now. How dare you come on for 20 minutes and say the most metal thing that's been said so far? It just.
Want to know the most metal thing? Last year, around almost this time, this might get a little gory, not too gory, but I had to have nasal surgery because I had my nose broken a couple times with baseball bats and baseballs as a kid.
Oh my
Never got
goodness.
fixed. So I had nasal surgery to kind of like try to get the broken bone shard out. They had to crack my bone nose and try to like get the bits that were broken out of there and like fix my sinuses. It was a nasty thing. And for 2 weeks, I was choking on I was being waterboarded by my own blood. My nose was packed with blood, and I was literally choking on my own blood for 2 weeks. And when I tell people that, they're like, that is the most metal thing I have ever heard in my life. And I'm like, you know what? That is kind of metal.
Okay, and then can you give us a heads up when you're about to get to the gory part? Thank you. No, that's...
Yeah.
That's wild, Casey. Goodness gracious. Well, I'm glad you still exist.
Yeah, same here. It's I'm like, okay, life is life, great, but that's our Laios.
I love it. Well, it's you two, because the way, like, I don't know, the way Laios and Chilchuck bounce off each other is just the absolute best. It's such a nice contrast, and it's a true delight.
It is. I feel like he's even though he's kind of like the people see him as the kid, which I can relate to. Excuse me. He kind of seems like the parent sometimes who has to kind of tell the group, look guys, we have to do this or we're gonna die, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Like I've gone along with a lot of crazy stuff, but we can't keep, this is gonna kill us. And it's always the kid looking, the kid seemingly one who's like the dad, and being like, come on, you may be twice my size, but I'm here. We can't do this.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's now that you say that, it is very coded of just like, hey, what's in your mouth? What's in your mouth? Hey, what's in your mouth? Or like,
spit it out.
Spit it out.
What? Spit it out.
Chilchuck just hears a noise. He's like, hey, I know you're not in that toilet right now. Okay, like just I love it. I think actually one of your lines that made me kind of lose it, and I was on a plane just a couple days ago watching it. Again, not spoiling what happens in this most recent episode, but there's just that pause, and there's something about the panic to your voice where I say something like, well, telling such and such, okay? And there's just like a, that is literally the worst person to tell line. And it was somehow more panicked than I'd heard from any monster that Chilchuck was referring to. It was just the like social implications of what you have just done was just 10 out of 10.
I haven't seen that episode in full yet.
Okay.
But
okay.
I remember that line, and I remember when they played you, I said Chilchuck's line without even reading that's what he was saying. And I was like, that is the worst person to say. And Jonathan's like, that's your line. I don't know. You see?
That's so
it was
funny.
Much just like, keep your energy. We're putting you in. And I was like, that's the worst person. Yeah. So, yeah.
I think it is on the line worst that there's not even a break. It's just like this inflection shift that's like,
yeah.
It's just like a new tier of panicked Chilchuck that I had not heard before.
Well, it was like a visceral reaction.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot in the show because they'll put me in for something and I won't read much ahead. And I haven't read the manga, so I really don't know what's going on as I'm going in to do it. All of this is new. I'm like, whatever. Okay, we're doing a new episode. I have no idea what happens in this one. Everything's brand new to me.
I love
So when
that.
they play me in, and I'll
Can I maybe get a pigeon too? Pretty please, they say in chat. Yes, you can.
Pretty please.
Numninksa, you can absolutely get a pigeon. Won't you take home a pigeon today in the arms of the angel?
The angels are away from me in the arms of the angels. Won't you hush?
Some comfort here
here.
in the arms of the angel.
okay.
Fly away from here. Miranda, I think we should probably cut a demo at this point.
I completely agree.
Entirety of Nickelback's first album as performed by the voices of Mio and Kudo. All right, we got one for Hannah here. Please write your favorite quote or whatever one means the most to you. Can't wait for season 2. Thanks for all you do. You are awesome. Hannah, you are so sweet. Thank you.
This is my last one.
Okay.
From Graka. Her name is Graka. I think it's Gresta or Gresta. I can't pronounce it, but I love that name. It's beautiful.
It sounds.
He said, no special instructions, just standing support and looking forward to another season. Aww, that's so cute and sweet.
That's very
Goodness.
quiet.
Okay, DM me.
It's very quiet. It's always so hard for me not to troll because you guys, you know, I'm a goober. But when they say like, please say your favorite quote or whichever one means the most to you, I just wanted to write, I am Kyoka Kudo.
Yeah.
I think I
should do,
might.
like, what a beautiful person.
Yeah,
as
right?
my favorite quote.
That's
She
so
goes like,
funny.
what a beautiful person. Ah!
Hannah, if you're in chat, I might just do it. I'm
Beautiful
Kyoka
person.
Kudo.
Thank you, Kraka. I'm still here, so if you guys want to order a double print or a single print,